I homesteaded 160 acres on my 21st birthday. In honor of my birthday, after my cabin was up, I gave a dance and invited the county to come. The county came. They were country people. They knew only square dances. I invited the Perry Mansfield to come and give us an exhibition of their art. I built a platform out in front of the house. I'd piped a spring down and had a fountain that sprayed water there, the only one in the county. And then I had the people with Ford trucks put their headlights on the porch where Portia and Charlotte and a troupe of dancers dressed in classical costumes came and danced to the edification of the natives who'd never seen anything like it, of course. When you want to move cattle in a hurry, you run around them and you say, "Hoo-ah! Hoo-ah!" And the dance got excited, and the girls in the Greek costumes, they had great big veils, and they would wrap up in veils and then take them off, and when the veil went off and they ran to get to cover, but then all the cowboys would yell, "Hoo-ah! Hoo-ah!" Then, of course, when they were through with their exhibition, I asked them to stay and join in the square dances, which were new to them. But being polished dancers, it wasn't but a few minutes when they were adding to the ordinary grand right and left that country dances always go through by putting little flourishes on and extra jigs in, and they lightened the whole thing up. First couple out to the couple on the right, and the bird in the cage, and close the door, join your hands and sing no more. The bird hops out and the crow hops in, all join hands and go it again.
In 1910, Portia Mansfield and Charlotte Perry were genteel young ladies attending Smith College in Massachusetts. That year, Charlotte's father invited the girls to join him on a bear hunt in the mountains of Colorado. To Portia and Charlotte, the bear hunt would be a significant experience.
No, I didn't ever kill the bear, but I liked running after him. That was great fun. Charlotte killed one, but she didn't like it, and she never did again. It was through college, just through, and Charlotte Perry's father invited us to go on a bear hunt, and so that was lots of fun.
Portia liked bear hunts because she'd never been on one. And we put our lunches up early in the morning and put them on the saddle to eat it later at noon. And my father discovered right away that before 9 o'clock, Portia had eaten her lunch. And he said, she'll have to learn. We're not going to give her anything.
I got all the clothes ready, great big boots to go up, and I was in full costume for running after a bear. And we had a very fine group of trained dogs, bear hunters, and a man to take care of them. And they went awfully fast through the woods. And I had only had one lesson in horseback riding down there in Smith College, but that wasn't much good.
Whether it was the excitement of the hunt, the evening campfires, or the wide open spaces, Portia, who had been raised in Chicago, fell in love with the West. She persuaded Kingo, as Charlotte was called, to join her in starting a dance and drama camp in the Colorado mountains. In 1913, against all odds and over the stern objections of Charlotte's father, they opened the Perry Mansfield Dance Camp at Lake Eldora, 40 miles west of Denver.
Both our families didn't want us to do it. They said that was a terrible thing to try to do. And my father said, You just can't do it. If you do it and you lose money, you can't do it again. If you lose money and you do it again, I'll disinherit you. Oh, goodness, I said.
From the beginning, the camp was plagued with problems. At an altitude of 9,000 feet, the dancers often found themselves cold and breathless. Violent thunderstorms pelted them daily, and peeping Toms were everywhere, lured from Denver by newspaper reports of young nymphs dancing in leotards and chiffons. At the end of their first year, Portia and Charlotte decided to move their camp across the Continental Divide, near a small town in Colorado's Yampa Valley called Steamboat Springs. Traveling by buggy, drawn by a cantankerous mule named Tango, the two women selected a new site for their camp in an area called Strawberry Park. In 1914, Steamboat was still a raw frontier town inhabited by roughnecks, cattlemen, miners, and a few merchants. Early-day residents Ferry Carpenter and Eleanor Bliss well remember the locals' impressions of Portia and Charlotte.
Couldn't help but like them, you know. They were just like people from another world.
In those days, the town was made up of the townspeople, and the only way it grew was from the families that lived here. And when these strangers came in and started this thing back in the woods and didn't really have any association with the town, they really thought that there was something funny going on.
Oh, it was a long time before they accepted us. They wouldn't let the men wouldn't let their wives come beyond the front gate. And if they brought anything like milk or butter or anything, they had to put it in the creek down there near the gate, because they wouldn't let them on the place. They thought they'd be, they'd be influenced. And they thought we were really in league with the devil. They did, they said so. Dancing then was a major sin in Steamboat.
Ignoring rumors about the two mad ladies who danced in the woods, Charlotte and Portia began building a main house for the camp. The cabine, as it was called, still stands today. The women were assisted at the site by a crew of carpenters sent over from a nearby mine owned by Charlotte's brother, Bob.
Well, we had Billy, his head carpenter, and we gave them roast beef and roast potatoes and a lovely dessert of some kind. But after it, Billy came to me and he said, "I'm terribly sorry to tell you, but we all want to leave." And I said, "Billy, why do you want to leave?" He said, "On account of the food. We don't like the food." "Oh, Billy," I said, "all right, but let me have one more chance. Let me feed you tonight, and you try it again." And he said, "Well, I'll go and tell them this and see." So then I called up Bob, and he said, "Are you crying?" And I said, "Yes, they don't like our food." "Well," he said, "have you given them grease and awful soggy pies?" And I said, "No, I haven't." Well, he said, "That's what they want, honey. They want everything buried in grease, and they want it overdone, and the worst pie you can possibly buy is what they want." So I gave them that for supper that Sunday night, and Billy came back and he said, "Oh, that was good. We'll stay. We'll finish the job if you'll feed us like that."